Every single morning, your brain hands you an opportunity that most people completely waste. And it's not because they're lazy, but because they don't understand what's actually happening in their minds. You know, most people wake up, check their phone, react to messages, scroll, stress, rush, and before they even realize it, they've already allowed all this negativity to rule their minds. But what if I told you that the first 30 to 60 minutes of your morning is when your brain is the most programmable it will ever be all day? And this isn't just all about motivation. This is actually neuroscience. You know, right after you wake up, your brain is moving through alpha and theta brainwaves, which is the same state used in hypnosis and deep meditation, meaning your subconscious mind is wide open. Your critical thinking, your analytical filter hasn't fully kicked in yet. So whatever you feed your mind in that window or that small time frame doesn't just stay on the surface. It goes deep into your subconscious mind and starts becoming part of your identity. And that's why your morning mindset isn't just important, it's everything. Because how you start your morning is how you train your brain to wake up and experience your life. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 powerful shifts that will completely change the way you show up every single day. And the first shift is that you need to stop reacting to your morning and start designing it. You know, most people wake up in full reaction mode. And I used to wake up in this state of anxiety myself. I was in anxiety and fear about what's going to happen throughout my day. You know, the alarm would go off and I was so tired. And I'd tell stories to myself about why I'm not good enough or why I wasn't further ahead. Then I would check my phone and immediately step into someone else's world. You know, I'd check my work emails, messages, problems, news, you name it. And now what happens is that your brain is in this constant reactive mode before you even got out of bed. And that's the problem, because the brain is pattern-based. So whatever state you start your day in, your brain tries to maintain it. So if you start your day stressed, you will look for things to validate stress. And if you start your day rushed, everything will feel urgent. You'll start rushing around everywhere. And if you start your day distracted, your focus is all over the place. It's just a mess. Believe me, I know this all too well. So here's the shift. You don't wake up and see how you feel. You wake up and decide how you want your day to go and who you are going to be. Before you even hit the floor, before your feet even touch the floor, you give your brain a direction. And this is so important, because if you don't consciously set the tone, your environment will do it for you, and your environment doesn't care about your goals or your dreams. So instead of waking up and grabbing your phone, pause. Take 60 seconds and ask yourself this one question. How do I want to show up today? Do I want to show up calm, focused, disciplined, confident? Just pick one and then lock it in. Because your brain needs a target. It's just the way it's designed. And once you've got one, it starts filtering your reality through that lens. And that's not motivation. That's how your RAS works, your reticular activating system. It filters information based on what you decide is important. So if you decide today I'm focused, your brain starts noticing opportunities to focus on. If you decide today I'm confident, your brain starts reinforcing that identity. And that's how you take control of your morning. You don't react to the day, you define it. Okay, now that you are not reacting to your morning, without the second shift, your mind will wander off with no energy or with no direction. And that's the second phase. That's controlling your first thoughts, because otherwise they'll control you. Just like tending a garden, you need to knock out those noxious weeds before they take over. And here's what most people don't realize. Your first thoughts in the morning are not random. They're conditioned. They're patterns and thoughts that you had from yesterday, from last week, and even from all those years, earlier years when you were being brought up. It's years of internal programming and repetition. So if you wake up in the morning and your first thought is, I'm not good enough, I will never get ahead, I need more money, I hate my job, I hate my boss, I'm scared, I'm fearful, and so on and so on. Here we go again. Well, that's not necessarily the truth. That's just your incessant programming that you've cultivated in your mind over time. And if you don't interrupt it or snap out of it, it runs automatically. And it shapes your entire day, your entire reality, your entire year, everything. Because thoughts that are emotionalized become magnetized and attract similar and like thoughts. You end up going down the proverbial rabbit hole of negativity before you even realize it. And this creates your negative emotional states. And emotional states drive your behavior. So if your first thoughts are negative or condescending towards yourself and others, your energy will drop. Your motivation drops. Your actions reflect that. And then your results reinforce those beliefs that you think are true. And that's the loop most people get stuck in. So here's the shift. You don't wait for good thoughts. You have to create them intentionally. And I know it sounds strange, but you can think any thought you want to choose. You're in charge. And if you do this often, over and over again, often enough, through repetition, you'll start to rewire your brain. So instead of letting your mind run on default or automatic, you install new thoughts. You install, and do simple ones, simple but powerful. Things like, today I execute, no matter what. Today I stay focused. Today I follow through, no matter what. And you don't just say them once. You repeat them over and over again. Because your brain learns through repetition and emotion. And over time, those thoughts stop feeling forced and start becoming automatic. And that's called neuroplasticity. You are literally training and rewiring your brain to think differently. And when your thinking changes, your behavior follows. So don't underestimate this, because most people try to change their life without even changing their thoughts, and it just doesn't work. You have to act like the person that you want to become. And this will start to change your identity. It's like trying to change a computer program without changing the internal software first. It just doesn't work. So if you want to stay on top of your game and produce results on a daily basis, even while you're sleeping, you need to implement this next phase in order for all of this to work. And this is so important. That leads me on to the phase number 3. You need to build momentum before the world interrupts you. It's very easy to get distracted. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think mindset is just thinking, and it's not. Mindset is built through persistent and consistent inspired action. Because action creates proof. And your brain believes proof more than it believes words. So start saying to yourself, today I will expect better things to happen. And then just take one small step. I will focus on today and not the year. Just today. Figure out your perfect day and go from there. The year will take care of itself. And don't make your happiness hostage to a long-term goal. Like I said, just start with today. So your morning needs to include one simple win. Something small but intentional. Because that starts to create momentum, and momentum changes everything. It could be getting out of bed immediately, making your bed, and even as small as that, drinking a big glass of water, writing down your goals, going to the gym every morning, which I do. Have your gym clothes beside your bed so you can step into them straight away and you've got no excuse. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you do it. Because when you do it, you send a signal to your brain that I follow through, and that identity starts building. Because confidence and true happiness doesn't come from just thinking about things. It subconsciously comes from evidence when you're taking inspired action. Taking decisive action kills fear, and the more small wins you stack in the morning, the more your brain starts to believe what you're thinking, what you're saying. This is who I am now. And once that identity locks in, your behavior becomes consistent. Not because you're forcing it, but because it's aligned with who you believe you are. And that's the real goal. It's not motivation, it's your identity. So let's bring this all together. Your morning is not just the start of your day. It's the foundation of your mindset. So if you wake up and react, you lose control. If you wake up and let your thoughts run amok, you reinforce old patterns. If you wake up and take no action, you stay the same. But if you wake up with intention, if you control your thoughts, if you build early momentum, you don't just change your morning, you change your life. Because days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and months turn into identity. So here's the challenge for the next 7 days. Take control of your first 30 minutes. No phone, set your intention, install your thoughts, create one small win, and watch what happens. Because the way you start your morning is the way you build your future. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I read every one. And if you're committed to becoming mentally stronger, emotionally resilient, and creating a better life, make sure you subscribe, because that's exactly what this channel is about. And also, if you'd like to download my free Magical Mind Secrets PDF, please click on the link in the description below. And if you'd like to watch my next video according to YouTube, watch it here. Peace out. See you in the next video.